In this video, we're going to take a look at the demo recording of my new song here in GarageBand. So let's go. Hi, my name is Pete and this is Studio Live today, where my goal is to help you create, record and release your best music, and we do that through tips and tricks and tutorial videos. So if that's your bag, consider subscribing. Today we are here in GarageBand because as part of my Songtember challenge, hashtag Songtember, where I'm creating, recording and releasing an entire song in 1 month and inviting you to do the same. So check the video up there and the details in the description if you want to learn more. But what I'll be doing today is going through my song here. You can see here in GarageBand, I've recorded it end to end. I've set up my sections and I've got guitar, I've got bass, I've got more guitar, I've got vocals, and I've even played around with some drums here. So this is the basic demo recording. I'll take you through what I've done here and how I did it, because this will form the basis of the actual recording of this song. Because we're halfway through the month, we really have to start cracking on with this recording. So let's dive in now and take a look. So here we are in GarageBand, and this is my arrangement so far. As I mentioned, if you wanted to check out the previous videos where I wrote and set up this arrangement, you can check that out in the link above and description below. Now, the first thing I do when I'm setting up to record here in GarageBand is I tap the plus button here in the top right corner and I set up my song sections. Now, I've saved you the fun of watching me set these up. I've done this before, and I'll link another video where I actually set up song sections and show you how to do this. But the point of this is to make sure I've got my section set up here so that for each part of my song, for my intro, for my verses, my chorus, everything is all set up there and it has its own section so that we can actually record it and arrange it. Now, this is really handy because it can help us with our recording and then our rearranging if we ever wanted to change anything. I also always have a section at the very start that is a complete blank section, so at least 2 bars or 4 bars. I've got 8 bars here just to make sure we got a heap of lead in time there at the start of our song. So that is that. We'll tap on all sections and come back here. And then what I've done is I've recorded each instrument one by one. So I started with the acoustic guitar, which is what this song is built around. I recorded the whole guitar part in one take, as you can see there. I then recorded the bass, which took a couple of takes, and I recorded some guitar in one take there. Well, first version of a guitar that I didn't like, so I recorded the second version, and then vocals, and even played around with some drum ideas. And I say ideas because you'll understand when you see or hear those in a moment that they're definitely not finished drums by any stretch. So let's come in here. If we solo this first track, what I firstly did is came in here, set myself up to section B, because that is the first intro section, and started recording through my guitar part. So let's hit play and take a listen to that. And at this point when I'm recording a demo, I don't do a lot in terms of the sound, but I do try and get it around about right. So for this, all I've really done is used the nice room, which is this basic setting for guitar, which has a bit of compression and a bit of that room setting on there. So I haven't spent a lot of time sort of tweaking it. I just want to get a feel for how the instruments are going to sound together. Is the arrangement going to work? What parts do I need to add, subtract? Does the chorus and verse go into the bridge, etc.? So that's my goal here. Second thing that I've done here is recorded the bass guitar. So along with that, I've come in here and recorded bass. Now you see here that there's these sort of breaks in between different parts, and that's where I've come in and I've punched in. And if you want to learn about punching in, playing guitar or vocals or anything, I've got a video about that, about how to punch in GarageBand, because it's not quite like other digital audio workstations. I'll put that at the end of this one too, because that's one that I get asked a lot about. And if you're starting your recording, you may want to do some punching in and punching out. So let's just take a quick listen to this bass. It's just there's the transition part where it goes into the chorus. And if we bring the guitar back in, you can hear there I'm experimenting around with different things. So it doesn't mean that every part will be the same here. I don't know if I'll do that bit there where I follow the acoustic with the bass, but it sounded pretty cool in the time and I just went with it. So yeah, what I can do from here is, the reason I've got all these parts in here, these won't be my final parts. These are my demo recordings, my scratch recordings. When I go to record the final part, all I'll need to do is tap on here, duplicate that out, and then record my final part over the top, and then sort of mute this one out so that I've got that as background, as just something to remember the parts that I wanted to put in there. and then I can mix and match with my final version here. So that is that. I'll just delete that now so I don't confuse myself. So we've got acoustic guitar, we've got bass in there. Now, what I wanted to do was bring in some guitar. So firstly, I tried bringing in some pretty heavily distorted guitar in here, because what I wanted to do is right up the front here, I wanted these little muted power chords. So I thought, why not use power chord as the type of guitar? Let's hit play on this and take a listen to why I'm not going to use this. So that's a cool sound, but it's a little bit too full on for this track. So if we bring this back in with our other instruments here, so what I've gone with is I've actually re-recorded that guitar, the whole guitar part, and I've gone with the a more of a crunchy guitar tone here. And again, these aren't my final tones, but playing around with the tones and getting them about where I think they want to be will help me with the final recording process. A lot of folks say, when you're doing your demo, just do your demo. Don't even think about the final production. My view is, when you're doing a demo, think about what the final mastered version is going to sound like, because you want to work your way towards that. You don't want the demo to sound completely different to the end result. You might as well start mixing as you go and start sort of sculpting your tones as you go. So with the new guitar, it sounds like this. And that little guitar part I don't like, by the way, so it won't be going in there with that. But when we get into the verse section, the guitar is going to be doing this. And yes, it does sound like the Proclaimers, 500 Miles, but when we put the vocals over the top, it's a very different vocal pattern. And again, I've said this in other videos, don't worry about sounding like or copying other people. Your music is going to sound like other people's music. You just have to deal with that. There's only 8 notes in most sort of scales. So yeah, it's going to sound like someone else's music. Don't stress. So what I've then done is I've grabbed my, oh, by the way, if you want to know how I've recorded all of these, what I used is this baby, the Steinberg UR12 audio interface. One of my favorite audio interfaces. Super handy because it's got a mic jack. It's got not an XLR, it's got a TS jack here for a 1/4-inch guitar. So for all of these, for the vocals I'm about to show you, they're using this mic. I just plugged my AT2020 straight in here and recorded that, and then for my guitars they all plugged straight in to the direct. So even the acoustic guitar I just recorded direct, just for ease and convenience. So I will record using a mic, and I'll be showing you that as part of this process when we actually record the final acoustic guitar. And if you want to learn about all of these products, head down to the description, go to studiolivetoday.com/gear, where I've got my complete gear guide to all of the gear that I use to record. So let's continue on here. We'll add in these vocals. So I recorded the vocals by themselves. They sound like this. Life is long and you have much time. You're in a rush and you don't know why. And again, I've just started tweaking the sound here. So if we come into the mix, in fact, I've done most of it here in the preset of the vocal. If you want to learn how to record vocals in GarageBand, video linked up the top there and down in the description. But here is, and I've got quite a lot of drive on here. I've got a little bit of the whole reverb there, and I've got the compressor up a little bit so that our sound, you want it all and you want it now, but you got no talent, is going to have a little bit of that grit to it. And this is one of the things that my voice really needs. It's a little bit too nasally and a bit high and a bit sort of clean. Adding in some overdrive or some sort of distortion actually really helps. And if you're finding your vocals are not cutting through your mix, overdrive, distortion, something, harmonics, something that's going to give it a bit of grit is going to be a good idea. So that's an additional tip there around your vocals. So let's come back here to the track, and if we bring the all together, we'll play this little section where it's coming here from the verse into the chorus so you can hear how it's sounding. We'll just mute out these drums for now. So this is how the actual arrangement, the bass arrangement is sounding. Think it's easy, so why not you? But success isn't overnight, so if you want to win, you're gonna have to fight. Hold on, hold on. It's gonna be a long time. Hold on, hold on, 'cause it's gonna be a long, long time. Hey! So you can hear there if you've been listening to this before or if it's the first time hearing the track, that's cool. But if you heard the acoustic version I did in the last video, you can hear now how the arrangement is coming together. And this is probably my favorite part of songwriting and recording, is when you've got your first acoustic version or your very basic stripped down version and you start layering up parts, because I'm hearing different things that I can be doing here. I'm hearing a lead guitar part coming into my head. I'm hearing a second acoustic guitar to sort of layer and complement that one. I'm liking the bass. I think the bass line on this one sounds cool. And then finally some drums, and I'll show you those in a minute. But what I did sort of further down here is I started playing around with this electric guitar in particular. I didn't like it just playing power chords the whole way through. I think it needed to change up. So I think it's down here in this section where we move to a few actual lead sort of licks here. So let's just see if I can find the section. So I think it's after this little part. So in this sort of final section. Yeah, this bit. Hold on, it's gonna be a long time. Hold on, 'cause it's gonna be a long, long time. Hold on, hold on. And this is the thing, I was just playing the rhythm part, but I got this idea and I got this feel for it. So as I was recording, I sort of switched out of rhythm and changed into lead. So I'd probably use a different tone for the lead guitar in the final version. But I just wanted to show you this because sometimes when you're recording, that's the best time to just start experimenting, especially when you're recording your demo. You'll come up with an idea, don't just push it away, record it, get it down. Because what I'll now do is I'll keep this guitar version so that when I sort of duplicate this out and record my rhythm guitar and my lead guitar, then I can pull back on those sections and actually say, hey, what did I do there and what should I do on this one? Alrighty, so let's take a look. We'll just delete that one. Before we finish up here, I'll give you an idea of the drums that I'm putting on here. Now, these drums are super rough because I was literally just playing along on the touch screen trying to work out what drum feel I wanted on this track. So we'll take a look at that and then we'll finish off by playing through the full version as it stands at the moment. So our drums here, let's come in and take a listen. We'll unmute, in fact, these drums. And the first thing that I wanted, if you listen to sort of earlier versions in the songwriting process, I wanted a real 4-on-the-floor kick drum, or bass drum, as we call it in Australia, feel at the start of this song. So if we hit play on this part, you'll hear. So just really that driving. It's not even a 4 on the floor really, because it's actually on the 1 and the 3. Life is long and you have much time. You're in. And this is sort of the verse feel that I wanted. It's just a very simple do 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 do, which is what I've put on here. Just a kick snare kind of pattern. We're in a rush and you don't know why. You want it all and you want it now. And you can hear me there playing around, and I've got 2 tracks here. One is my kick and snare and crash cymbal. The other one is my hi-hat and ride. I tend to split them like that because it's too hard for me to play everything on one track. So I'm playing around with different hi-hat patterns here as to whether it's going to be a like whether it's eighth notes, whether it's quarter notes, open or closed. So kind of don't ignore that, but realize that I'm not going crazy. I'm not going to put all these different styles in. It's just me experimenting, working out what's going to work. Let's play a little more here as it comes into, in fact, we'll bring it down here as it comes into the chorus section. Want to when you're gonna have to fight, hold on, hold on. And yes, it's all over the place there, but the main point I wanted there is I really like that crash, crash, hold, crash, crash, like that. I think that works well for this, and I'm definitely going to have to record these, not use a drummer or use any smart drums or anything. I'm going to have to play these drums. In fact, that's a great idea. Why don't I actually record using my electronic drums and record using MIDI into GarageBand? I think that would be cool. That would make a cool video. Yeah, you'd like to see that? All right, so I will do that. I'll use my real drums because I think I'll need to have that actual real kind of drum feel to record these drums the way I want to. So that's what we've got for the drums. As we come here towards the end, I try out a few different sort of things. So if we come down here, gonna be a long, long time. Oh. So trying to work out what the bridge sounds like and then bringing it home with the big final chorus. Hold on. It's gonna be a long time. Hold on, 'cause it's gonna. playing around with some fills, how they're going to sound, etc. So that is what we've got so far. I'm going to play this back. I will mute the drums because they are super experimental, but what I'm going to do is play you what we have so far from end to end of this song and this arrangement as we have it, and then we will finish off. So let's hit play on this one, and you can take a listen to my arrangement of my song. If you do have tips, if you have advice, if you have comments about what I should add, subtract, don't do in this one, please let me know down in the comments below, and we'll go out now with my song Hold On, the demo version. Life is long and you have much time. You're in a rush and you don't know why. You want it all and you want it now, but you got no talent and you don't know how. Look around at what others do. Think it's easy, so why not you? But success isn't overnight, so if you want to win, you're gonna have to fight. Hold on, hold on. It's gonna be a long time. Hold on, 'cause it's gonna be a long, long time. Hey! There are times when you might give in, thinking there's just no way to win. Looking sideways at other folks, thinking you're the butt of everyone's jokes. But there's one lesson that I've learned: when you feel that you can't return, that is that you should persevere, 'cause you won't get it done by living in fear. Hold on, hold on. It's gonna be a long time. Hold on, 'cause it's gonna be a long, long time. Oh. They say, get rich, buy a car, a house, a diamond ring, but that won't really make you happy.